I know our button to push to turn a man on. No tricks, no games, just me.
It's been a while. We know we shouldn't have kept you waiting, but we're here now. This is Right Back At Ya, the podcast where we have fun taking Naughty's pop music seriously. Hosted by myself, Joel Babington, and the swan song of Australia himself, David Lim.
Joel, it is, first of all, so good to have you back in my room, back in this postcode, back in this very space where we recorded season 2.
We've parted ways, living together. There's been no drama. I've just moved house.
I mean,
this isn't a get well soon Geri situation.
This isn't.
I know we say it all the time, but I am so excited for this series. Our episode list is fire. Literally, we have got the greats of Naughty's pop music, some underrated huns of Naughty's pop music. It's just a real fun celebration, and as always, can't wait to just talk about it and share it with you guys. And obviously, if you're not already, get involved on the conversation at Right Back Pod, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Get in touch. Let's have a conversation.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Let's do a little... Oh, get that sound effect for in there.
To Series 3.
So here we are with part 2 of our solo Spice Girls episode.
So we had so much fun doing Spice Girls 98 till 2000. You guys have wanted a part 2, and of course we want to do a part 2. So here it is. We're going to cover from 2001 to 2005.
I mean, we're talking 5 very seminal years for fans of the Spice Girls, fans of pop music, because this was an era of change. And we're seeing the girls coming out of their, heady 90s era where the Spice Girls were untouchable to what happens next when it's 5 individuals going it on their own, and we're really seeing a period of change. And to me, that's exciting. And also to me, this was the kind of era where a lot of the solo Spice Girls records, this is where I came in and I really stand. Really, really stand.
So we're going to pick up, the year is 2001. Everyone's had a little rest for January. And then Melanie B is back with the next single from her debut album, Feels So Good.
The interesting thing about Mel B's hot era was that it's so staggered out. And it almost felt like, I don't want to say drawn out, but it does feel like she sort of slotted in singles and promo opportunities where she could around the Spice Girls schedule.
Tricky one. Tell Me came out 2 weeks before Holler or something, so it's going to be overblown by that. Hot comes out, she's released her debut album, then she's released an album with her band. So yeah, it's just a bit of a hodgepodge, I'm afraid. But, I mean, it was kind of uncharted territory, so they were paving the way of something that hadn't been done for them yet.
Yeah.
It's a real shame that this wasn't the debut single off the album.
Oh, yeah, could have been. So good. Feels so good.
Feels so good. I think it's a shame we didn't get more of this Mel B. Really great, slick R&B pop artist with great production value in the music video. She's
Gorgeous.
Obviously a gorgeous woman.
Stunning.
Gorgeous music video. A great, slick track. I mean, it's Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who is famous for working with Janet. Yeah, they did If You Want to Have Some Fun, which is one of my favourite Spice Girls tracks.
They didn't do Holler, sorry.
No,
that's Dark Child.
Yeah, that was Dark Child. So yeah, If You Want to Have Some Fun, which would have been the perfect third single. Fourth, sorry, if you count Goodbye. So yes, look, Mel B was doing it with that, and it was a top 5 hit.
Oh yeah, what a great start to the year. So it was number 5 in the UK, and also number 2 on the UK R&B charts. 10 in Belgium, 8 in Scotland. Not sure what Ireland were thinking. It was number 42 there. Come on, guys.
Didn't the CDs reach their HMVs or something?
Must have had an error in Woolworths or something.
Now, we're going to get on to a very exciting rest of 2001 because this is where we see the Emma Bunton debut solo outing.
We had Tintin Out feature, but this is like debut Emma solo.
What took you so long? Which is pretty much what all our loyal listeners are saying when we release this finally.
What took you so long? What took you all night? What took you forever to see? I'm back. You know I treat you so good. I make you feel fine. You know I'll never give it up this time. No.
First single off the debut album. What are your thoughts?
Blown away. Everyone can fucking get into this. It is universally appealing, isn't it?
Do you know what? She didn't come out with a big bop. She came out with a real great mid-tempo number, which really does sort of pave the way of what suits her voice. And it's the first time we get, which ends up being kind of a signature for Emma, yeah, yeah, yeah intro.
Do you remember the video? How gorgeous it was.
I was going to say, what did you think of the video?
Beautifully done, casting Emma Bunton as a sexy hitchhiker in the middle of America.
What about the wolves, though?
Did you know she was fucking scared of the dogs?
I was watching it and I was like, sod that, mate.
What, you wouldn't do it?
They were not dogs.
They were wolves!
They were wolves.
Fucking huge!
And she's like got her head on one at one point. Like, I mean, I grew up with dogs. I'm a dog person, but...
Sheena wasn't that.
Sheena was that? No. I mean, Sheena's a big dog, but she's not a wolf. Like... Sheena's my family dog, by the way.
What took you so long?
What took you so long? What took you all night?
It debuted at number 1.
It didn't just debut at number 1, David. It debuted at number 1 on my 10th birthday.
Did it really?
April the 8th, 2001, debuted at number 1.
Iconic. Selling 76,000 copies in its first week. I mean, this is what she deserves.
Hats off to you, Em. That's absolutely fantastic. Number 6 on the European Hot 100 singles. Number 9 in Ireland. Come on, Ireland. I mean, you're like, that's great, but if we're number 1 here, like, follow suit with us. What's going on at the time? Number 9 in Italy. Number 1 in New Zealand. Shout out to our pals in New Zealand.
Hey.
Top 10 in Australia.
My dad loved this song.
Wow.
He had this on repeat. He made a point to tell me that how much he liked this, because obviously, you know, he knew I was a Spice Girl fan. Now, I try to force feed every single Spice Girl record on him when I was growing up. But what took you so long was the one that resonated with my dad.
Wow. After her debut single, in mid-April, Emma releases A Girl Like Me, her debut album. What did you think of it, David?
I did not remember this being quite so pop R&B.
Me either. That's exactly what I thought, you know. I thought it was basically an album of What Took You So Long and Take My Breath Away. And then it's a real actual mixed bag. You know how last episode we were saying, we would have loved like a pop, upbeat Emma Bunton. You know, there's some real sort of, light R&B on here, poppy numbers.
For me, this is a CD you would pop on when you're getting ready for a girls' night out. Or it's a CD that you put in when you're driving around with your boyfriend and you want like a romantic moment.
Or like if you're doing the housework. I think there's an album we're getting to later. Don't laugh at that. There's no denying in what sort of choice you make for the album to put on while you do the housework.
What kind of album do you put on when you do the housework?
This kind of album. A few where you can get to it. A few where you can just be, yeah. You know. It gives you the light and shade. So I really liked Spell It O-U-T. I loved A Girl Like Me. Were there any other standout tracks for you, David?
Been there, done that. I mean, that is sassy. That feels like track 13 on Forever. If they had done a bigger album.
The Hun came out there.
The Hun jumped out there.
Boy, I won't accept anything less. 'Cause I've been there, done that. I don't wanna get hurt again. Matter of fact, I refuse to go back to half-hearted promises. Simple as that. I've been there, done that.
So she impressively wrote every song on this album except the 2 covers, which is, she included What I Am with Tintin Out and also Sunshine on a Rainy Day.
Cover of Naomi Campbell.
Sunshine on a rainy
So Emma Bunton's A Girl Like Me debuted and peaked at number 4 in the UK. It sold over 21,500 copies in its first week.
Wow.
Eventually going to be certified gold. Number 6 in Scotland. Number 21 in New Zealand. Number 86 in Australia. I mean, I thought we
there for her.
I thought we had our girl.
But you didn't buy it, David.
No, I didn't. I mean,
Your dad didn't buy it.
So Emma did eventually go out to Australia to promote this album and this era when she performed at a pop music festival that we had out there called Rumba. And sadly, it was very short-lived. It was only 2 years running, and Emma did the first year. Such an iconic lineup, Joel. Emma Bunton, Blue, Craig David, Mandy Moore.
Emma would be an amazing booking for My Hoopla this summer. We're still a few years away from it, but like a 20th anniversary one-off concert of the Free Me album would be fantastic.
I'm here for that. Free Me, live at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh.
With a live orchestra.
Look, we'll plan it. We're available again. Cat suits. High ponies.
So next up, in April 2001, now this, I mean, God.
Good job Emma got this out when she did, 2 weeks prior.
A storm was around the corner.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Geri came back with her second album era with It's Raining Men. Now, this wasn't originally meant to be
No.
the lead single for the era, was it?
It was meant to be, what's the song, the sex song? What's it called? Talk About Sex or something?
Feels Like Sex.
Feels like sex.
I wouldn't know what that means.
Neither would I, Mum, obviously.
Well, I actually didn't decide. It was really odd because I was all ready to go with my new album, my single, I had the video idea, all ready. And then the producers of the movie said to me, do you want to record It's Raining Men for the soundtrack? And so I said, yeah, it'd be fun. And I love Bridget Jones because I've read both of the books. So I did it just quickly. And then they all loved it and said, we want it to be a single. And I just thought, this is a bit of a gift.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to do. So I just thought, go with it.
The pop gods were looking down at her because I think she took what she had and a platform and transcended it to be something much higher than that.
The timing of Bridget Jones' Diary, the soundtrack, and a cover, a well-known cover, it just, you couldn't go wrong there.
Feels Like Sex would not have been a good lead single to the second album. Bearing in mind what your audience is, I just turned 10. And I know she wants to grow up and be sexy and everything, but that's a bit too on the nose. And also the song is just not like
It's actually
a
not
lead
that
single
It's
song.
actually not that racy either. But it was meant to be that she had It's Raining Men.
Not only was it the lead single to the album, and it did hugely well, but it has gone to become her signature song as well. And all I can say is, and I mean this in the best possible way, I don't know how she got away with it. A woman who, isn't the most naturally gifted vocally, has somehow covered a big sort of like a vocally soul song. And she's covered it and pulls it off and owns it. Just absolute hats off to her. On paper it shouldn't work, but it is absolutely fantastic.
Can we talk about the music video? Because there's a lot going on in there.
There is so much. It's a big Fame meets Flashdance extravaganza. So much fun. I bet Geri absolutely loved getting to live out her stage school dream. She's always said that's what when she was growing up, she really wanted to do that and could never have the opportunity. Do you remember when then J-Lo did the music video that was like Flashdance inspired?
Oh yeah,
That
I'm
people-
glad, yes.
A lot of people were like, oh, she's copying Geri. Again, Geri paved the way for J-Lo.
Just like it was with that jungle dress.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get, the UK version of Hustlers going. Let's make it an ITV drama or something starring Geraldine Estelle Horner. It really was pop destiny that it all laid itself out the way it is. and started this second album era off with a bang. Gave her 4th consecutive #1.
Iconic.
It was huge. So let's run this down. UK, it peaked at #1. Italy and Ireland #1, Welcome Back Ireland.
#4 in Australia, platinum single.
#1 in France. I mean, these stats are amazing. Shall we get into the Scream If You Want to Go Faster album?
Let's do Scream If You Want to Go Faster. Sonically, visually, production-wise, it feels like it's leaning more towards America.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the girls have said they really like sort of America's optimism. And they were obviously, as a band, so well received in America. Maybe apart from Mel C and Emma have all kind of lived in America for a stint. The other two might have. So I think they all do really. And yeah, like even the lyric in the next thing that we're going to get into is "Have a nice day," as Americans say. Like, so yeah, I agree how you're saying about how it's a sort of a very like American adjacent album.
This album is still doing the most in a very Geri way. It is insanely flavoursome.
I think like the second track, "Shake Your Beauty Cutie," is probably like the most Geri Halliwell track there could be.
Shake your booty, cutie. You are the dancing king. Sexy daddy, baby. You really make my brain sing. Yeah. Shake your booty, cutie. And show me you can dance. I'm Mr. Big, baby, can you dig?
So for me, one of the notable promo moments in this era was Party in a Park.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you said that actually.
So Geri performed to over 70,000 people in Hyde Park. She opened the set with Scream If You Want to Go Faster. She came out in a motorbike, vrooming and doing all that kind of stuff. Microphone in a holster.
Could have used this as a chance to promote those Spice bikes that they got sued over.
What Spice Bikes?
Do you not know about this whole big... They got sued like £1 million, the brand Spice Girls, because they signed a sponsorship deal with a motorbike company, and then Geri left a few weeks after. They're saying they didn't fulfil like the commitments to the
bikes.
sponsorship they were meant to do, because I think they got quite a big paycheck and they were sponsoring the Spice World Tour.
Really? I didn't know
It's a
about
big
this.
deal. Both, I think, Emma and Geri separately ended up in court at the Royal Courts of Justice near where I work.
Are you joking? Yeah, I should have brought the bikes on stage.
Yeah, here you go. That would be very joke. Yeah, there you go. The bikes, yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, that was big.
It's Raining Men. There was like this faux yellow New York taxi that came out on stage. Like
Budget. Especially at something like Party at the Park, you normally just pop up and do your songs. So for Geri to bring
a fake taxi.
stuff for each song,
Yeah, it's
incredible.
It's quite
I
something.
mean, you've normally just got Girls Aloud with the tambourines to sing No Good Advice. That's the biggest prop, you know.
But what a year it was. I mean, Emma Bunton also performed.
Wonder if Emma and Geri bumped into each other.
Tracy knows from Colchester says there were reports in the papers that at Party in the Park, you and Geri requested dressing rooms as far away from each other as possible. Is your relationship that bad?
No, that's absolutely rubbish. I mean, it's hectic that day. We said hi, and it's all madness. But there's no way. That's absolute rubbish.
Is it just all made up stuff?
Made up completely.
Because you're also on at completely different times as well. I mean, what people don't realise is people arrive all during the day.
Exactly, and it was really
People are
funny
leaving.
because she was coming off and she went, hi, Em, and I was like, hi, and then, you know, and that's how it is. It's just mad.
And the backstage area there was so massive anyway.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
I know.
everybody was so far away from everybody else.
Yeah, exactly, but that's rubbish.
Now, Scream If You Want to Go Faster debuted and peaked at number 5 in the UK.
Gold-selling album in the
Certifying
UK.
gold, that's good. Number 4 in Scotland, number 15 in Italy, number 15 in Ireland, number 20 in Spain, and 55 in Australia.
So, let's move into... We've got a return with Melanie B with Lullaby.
Final single from her debut album, Hot.
Sweet song. Great for the album, but I think it's a bad single choice, personally. Considering how strong Feels So Good was... You know how Victoria performed IOU for Parkinson, probably really lovely for some one-off televised performances, but maybe not necessarily needed as a single.
It's a very intimate song. I mean, she wrote it when Phoenix was 4 months old, about Phoenix.
I think out of all the girls, I feel like we're robbed most of, like, Mel B is so talented.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. Incredible personality. She's the one who we're really missing the most solo content from, in a way of, like, it's a real shame that we've not had as much of a flourish as we see of the other girls. Like, in this time, if there had been another big album between this and the next one we're going to see, could have been amazing.
It could have been amazing.
Like, fingers crossed, it seems like she's in a really good place. I think in 2020, like, we could see her do some really interesting solo material, big JY gigs, some intimate gigs. So, moving on from Mel B's last single of her debut era, we are moving to Geri's second single from her second album. I have always had a real soft spot for this song. It's just such like a like ramp it up to 10, ramp it up to 11 kind of song. Scream if you want to go faster.
Get ready to fly. Give me some gasoline. Tell me what you want, know what I mean. And scream if you wanna go faster, baby. Scream if you wanna go faster. If you wanna go faster.
The rocky elements in this, and it's not like super heavy rock, obviously. It really suits her voice.
Fronting a rock band with this kind of song really suits her.
It's her living her Debbie Harry moment.
Exactly. Because she can just sort of like swing about with it. She doesn't need to be like putting on a show in the way that she's probably felt like forced to in the past. And obviously as someone that isn't a natural dancer, that is kind of a question mark of what do. You have to put in a lot of hairography really if you're not going to be doing a big
Love
dance
hairography,
number.
yes. I was so excited when this music video came out. I love anything kind of Y2K, kind of pop stars on a hovercraft or like a futuristic vehicle kind of thing. And she's doing this kind of good versus bad kind of character thing.
So the double identity thing is going to get a lot of comparisons to Victoria's single, which we're going to see shortly.
Scream If You Want to Go Faster debuted and peaked at number 8 in the UK, which at the time was Geri's lowest charting single. But it still ended up selling over 80,000 copies in the UK.
Great.
Number 17 in Ireland.
40 in Australia, David. What were you thinking?
I was waiting for you to say that. Every single time something charts badly in Australia, it's like, David, what were you thinking? And then in July 2001, we have Emma's second single from her debut album.
Take My Breath Away.
Take My Breath Away. But this is not the Berlin cover.
No.
This is Emma's own track.
And she wrote it about Jade, she said recently on her social media,
Oh,
I believe.
really? Was it?
Which is lovely.
When everything you seem to do just drives me crazy. Every waking day, you take my breath away with every word you say. You take my breath away, you look at me that way. Baby, come what may, I hope that you'll always know how to take my breath away. How to take my
Coming from What Took You So Long, Take My Breath Away for me wasn't that memorable. But looking back now, I was like, why did they not do this as a duet with like a boy band member? This is
Emma Bunton and Mark Owen.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it would have been sweet. It would have been nice. It would have maybe done something. It would have been like a moment. Like, I felt like it needed something else with it. Okay, we are about to come to a very
Oh
exciting...
my god!
This is...
This is it.
This is it, Hans. This is it. September 2001, Not Such an Innocent Girl by Victoria Beckham.
Oh my god. And can we just say, if you didn't all demand a part 2, you would have only got a solo Victoria episode. Like, she was the only girl on our list ever really to have an episode. I'm just going to say, the vocals on this song are amazing. Even that opening number, she's saying, I can fucking sing. This track, a production. And looking to the music video, again, a fucking production. The logo, the branding, the vocals. She was not coming to play with this. In my opinion, this is the most lavish of all the solo Spice Girls singles we've seen thus far. We can't talk about this song without mentioning that Willa Ford did record this first. But she said she didn't like the song, and she was only ever intending to use it as a B-side. And it's like, this song could never be a B-side. This is such a bloody fantastic song. But the thing is, what I don't think we were ready for in the year 2001 is that this is a concept song. I think the issue was we knew Victoria too much as Posh Spice and as a person, and that you instantly go, well, I didn't think of her so much as an innocent girl. You know, she's had a child at this point, and she's a gorgeous young woman.
She wasn't as freely allowed to paint a picture because we already had the picture.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like with Geri or Emma or Mel B. Like, they all, you know, Geri always paints a picture with every release that she has, and Emma stays very consistent with her image, and Mel B stays very consistent within their wheelhouse of what they were doing. But Victoria, she really wanted to do something different with Not Such an Innocent Girl, as you said, with the concepts in the video. But people didn't let that breathe. People didn't get into it because they were so obsessed with her being Mrs. Beckham.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the video, because there was a real... I mean, we've always known Victoria to be a perfectionist. She said this a lot of times. She spent over a year and a half working on material for her debut solo album. She didn't want to rush it out. She tested the waters with Out of Your Mind. And now, debut solo single is Not Such an Innocent Girl, written by Steve Kipner, who's an Australian, shout out, who wrote Genie in a Bottle for Christina Aguilera. So she's working with very good people here. And the concept for the video, she's got a good Victoria and a bad Victoria.
And in actual fact, you know what's funny about the bad girl with a high ponytail? I look like Mel C. And it's actually quite funny because when I'm dancing with me, it looks like it's me and Melanie, and it looks like the other three have left. And Virgin have said, you know what? You got to carry on because you've still got a lot of money to make for us. So it's just been there for me and Mel C. That's what we look like.
By doing two different characters, we got double the amount of material out of this. You never know for a magazine cover whether it's going to be the blonde Victoria or the brunette Victoria.
She did a double smash hits cover.
Double smash hits cover. And also, when it came to performing, two different choreographies. Did y'all know that? Two different choreographies.
I'll come down on anyone. You can be the queen. I don't care. I come down on you if you say, or if you try and casually mention that Victoria can't sing. I come down on you like a ton of bricks. But what I absolutely cannot stand is when people try and say she can't dance.
Oh.
And I'm like, she's a trained dancer. There is...
You better tell
just
him
because
from Lanes.
From Lanes Theatre
She's
Arts.
a Lanes girl.
She is a Lanes girl. There is, as a way of... And I think it's a British thing, and I'm so proud to be British, but there is this British thing of this negativity, and people so casually think, oh, she could never really sing, or she couldn't really dance either, could she? And I'm like, just watch any one of the videos.
We can't talk about Not Such an Innocent Girl without addressing the iconic chart battle. In that same week that the single was coming out, Kylie's Can't Get You Out of My Head was also coming out, which we all know is a fucking banger.
Well,
undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, Victoria didn't really like the song at the time. Victoria's more of a classic songwriter. Yeah, it's really fucking annoying, to be honest, that those songs came out in the same week.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
So nonetheless, the chart battle was very highly publicised. Can't Get You Out of My Head debuted at number 1 with 306,000 copies in its first week. Victoria's Not Such an Innocent Girl debuted at number 6 with 35,000 copies. Very respectable.
Very respectable. It did hit a number 1 in Turkey.
Joe, I have to say, in my research for this episode...
She gets number 1s in Turkey all the way along.
Yeah, I'm like, who's
Shout out to Turkey. That's fantastic.
Shout
work.
out to whichever Victoria Beckham fan it is from Turkey that's like putting her as
Letting
number
everyone
one.
know, yeah.
Putting her as number one on Wikipedia. I mean, I wanna have some receipts to back this up.
So it was a number one selling single in Turkey. It was top 10 in Scotland.
Allegedly.
Top 15 in Spain. 36 in Australia, David.
That's not bad. I thought it would be. Come on, we've had lower charting Spice Girls singles. I went out and bought the CD single, and shout out to that Sunship remix.
Oh my god. That remix is so fucking good. She is the queen of garage. Like, if I'm out with people who aren't my core group of friends and they all like think they're a bit too cool for school, whatever, I just slip this track on and they always love it every time.
They always fucking love it. I slip it in the office as well. All these straight people, I'm playing garage tracks. It's a Friday afternoon in the office. I'm playing Mystique. I'm playing Daniel Bedingfield. I'll sleep in this Victoria Beckham remix. They'll be like, oh, what's this? It's
Exactly,
like,
I get that.
Yes,
Who's
bitch!
this? It's Victoria Beckham.
It's fucking Victoria Beckham Sunship remix.
If you touch me, I won't break. Don't be comfy that way. I'm not such an innocent girl. Don't wrap me up in cotton wool. Up on a pedestal. I'm not such an innocent girl.
Fingers on the sun, fingers on the sun. Some of them are bubbling, some of them are wine. Fingers on the sun, fingers on the sun. In that sun.
So in the same month that Victoria released her debut solo single, she also released her autobiography, Learning to Fly, which is an incredible read. I have a copy of it here in my room.
Oh wow, that must have been a wonderful person that bought you that book, David.
Thanks, Joel. The book sold over 500,000 copies. It was number one on the book chart. So Victoria was really getting it.
She did get her number one in
She
the UK.
did get her
Yes,
fucking
queen.
number one there. I'm still mad that, you know, she didn't get her moment as a pop artist. But let's talk about the album Victoria Beckham, which came out in October 2001.
I love this album.
We need to talk about the Diamante Crystals VB letters with the panther sliding down. I mean, graphic genius. I wanted that as a... Imagine if she made fake tattoos, like those Diamante fake tattoos that you can stick on yourself. Like, sent that out with a CD. I would have bought that.
Or a fabulous keychain it would make.
Fabulous keychain available at Claire's.
At Claire, I think she could do one better than... no shade to Claire's. Love you, Claire's. Maybe Topshop.
Topshop, yeah, like a limited range, like VB exclusive.
And then you could do some really overpriced ones exclusive to her website with
Swarovski.
your initials.
Yeah, with
JB.
JBDL.
What are you downloading, David?
But it's just like with real Swarovski crystals, of course.
Or it would make a great phone case now.
Yes. This artwork is quintessentially summing up what the VB brand is in 2001 at this point in life. It is aspirational. You know, she's got the little black dress on, again, very signature to Posh Spice, but she's looking a little bit more, you know, sultry, a little bit more grown up. And that even that fucking panther's wearing like a jeweled necklace. Like,
Yeah. Now, I think she's even said in interviews about how she's gone into like the styling of the logo and everything. Every level of it was important to her, just as important to her as the music, which was very important to her as well, regardless of how she, you know, we've all done that. If you move on, you play down some prior things. But here, she was so committed to the music at the time.
now let's get into the music, because this album, 2001, very solid pop R&B direction, I felt.
I think it's also quite like American-facing sounding.
Oh, yeah, no, certainly. She worked with some amazing American producers on this. So Shock and Carlin, who's worked with Whitney. Impressively, we got to give a shout out to VB because she wrote 10 out of 12 of these songs.
I mean, she is a songwriter. She's a classic songwriter. So this album did allegedly cost £5 million
I mean,
to put together. But that
that's
probably includes
fair.
all the single campaigns, the music videos. Of course it does. So it's £5 million as a whole.
5 million for Virgin Records is probably not a lot at that time, you know?
Yeah, not especially... Well, it's always a lot of money, but for a Spice Girl. Debut Spice Girl album.
A very famous Spice Girl, because this
Yeah.
is like peak Beckham mania, wasn't it?
Yeah, post the wedding, which was the biggest thing ever. What was very interesting at the time was she had a website, victoriabeckham.mu for music. I didn't even know that was a thing. And around it, she was working what people were saying and gossiping about, what the press was about in her favour. So in the website, you could go around the Beckingham Palace.
Oh, you're joking. Yes, I remember this.
It was a virtual website.
My internet speed was too slow to get into the website, so I never really did have a tour of Beckingham Palace, sadly.
Isn't that fab? Like, it's such like a 2001 thing to do.
It's so 2001 thing. I mean, I remember around this time when she was plugging a website, she was just like, oh, there'll be like interviews with my makeup artists on there and like all these kind of, the word content wasn't coined as content then. So, but she was a content creator.
She was.
She was the birth mother of YouTubers and vloggers. I mean, she was way ahead of her time there.
So, what are your favourite songs on this album?
This album has been a work in progress for 1.5 years, and it kind of shows. But my highlights, personally, I love Midnight Fantasy. That is my favourite album track. I mean, we're going to get into singles, Joel, but Midnight Fantasy is a tune.
Thinking of a way to get into your head. I'm gonna take you places that you've never been before. I come into your dreams, make you beg for more. I hold on to your body, I won't give you what you need. Go deeper with me, baby, I'm your midnight fantasy. I'm gonna take you places that you've never been before. I come into your dreams, make you beg for
So, Girlfriend and Midnight Fantasy, those are two incredible songs that are songs for the Huns. Girls' nights out while they're drinking their Lambrini, getting the straighteners out, the GHDs, ready to twaddle over to the bus stop, leaving your coat at home. You could get 2 drinks for £2 at these times.
Girlfriend I love because it's kind of like, if you really adored Toni Braxton's He Was a Man Enough for Me, this is sort of like the VB version of He Was a Man Enough for Me. It's like, girlfriend, don't try to come for me, you need to check your man. Don't try to paint me out as a homewrecker. Like, look at what your man was doing. I really enjoyed I Wish, which was meant to be the 3rd single from the VB album. Sadly was scrapped because she fell pregnant.
And it was going to be with a guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, Robbie Craig of East 17.
Yes.
Now, they did one TV performance together.
They did.
And I remember... Joel, did you used to go on Den, the forums?
No, but we both are on Spice Circle Facebook group now.
Which is the...
evolution of that. And shout out, if you're a big Spice Girls fan, you've got to get yourself on Spice Circle, the Facebook group, because it's just so many hardcore Spice Girls fans like ourselves and their knowledge and expertise. And just shout out to the guys on there. If you're a Spice Girls fan, just put Spice Circle in Facebook.
Yeah.
Get it up.
Look it up there, because that is where the Den community sort of evolved to. But I remember back then, in the early days of the internet, or me using the internet, I used to go on the forums all the time. And I remember reading about her releasing this single as a duet with this bloke. I was like, I don't know what a Robbie Craig is. I was like, is that a typo? Like, do they meant to say Craig David or Robbie Williams? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'm excited because we get a 3rd single from this campaign, and sadly that wasn't to be, but it was always one of my favourites on the album. And it has a real sophisticated Americanized R&B feel to it, which I appreciated.
I wish I could find a way. Wish that I could show you how I'm feeling you, boy. I tried, how badly I want you tonight. I gotta find it. I wish.
Before Beyonce, before Christina, there was Victoria with Every Part of Me. Featuring her child, Brooklyn Beckham. There's that Christina song where Christina says whatever and then her kid goes, "You do, mommy."
Yes, I love that.
And then there's obviously the song with Blue Ivy, but VB did it first.
VB did it first. I mean, Brooklyn Beckham must be the youngest recording artist in the world with a top 10 album.
I do know a lot of fans wish there were different single choices from this album. Do you agree with that, or are there any particular songs that you think would have made a better debut single, or maybe a second or third single?
I can't help but wonder what would have happened if she maybe led, even not maybe lead single, but second single maybe with Midnight Fantasy and gone a little bit more in-your-face pop and served us a little bit more of that.
And like I'm a woman in my, like I've done Not Such an Innocent Girl as a concept single, but now I am a 25-year-old woman that loves to have a fun night out, which I'm entitled to.
Yeah.
And I can be a bit sexy, I can be a bit naughty, I can be that Midnight Fantasy.
What would you have picked as a second single?
Not A Mind of Its Own. I think any of those songs would have been fantastic singles. Or yeah, I wish going from, because A Mind of Its Own, if it had to be a single, would make more sense as a third single, because you give them like banger, banger, something else.
Anyway, look, the Victoria Beckham album debuted and peaked at number 10. Once again, people try to make it a face-off chart battle with Kylie. Obviously, very unfortunate that the album came out the same week as Fever, which made number 1. The album also amazingly made number 11 in Japan.
And number 1 in Turkey.
Joel, we've talked about this before, but I'm like, we need to verify this. Where's the TurkeyOfficialCharts.com website? We need to verify this.
Who are the Turkish version of Jack and Rob? Because we need to get in touch. So yeah, if we have any listeners in Turkey, do let us know. But I'm going to believe it until I see receipts that tell me otherwise.
Exactly. Number 1 in Turkey, number 20 in Scotland, and number 20 on the Australian Hits Seekers chart.
So is that not the main chart?
No.
Hats off to BB. If you haven't listened to this album, because I hadn't listened to it until I was an adult, until we lived together, actually.
Wow. So if you haven't, please go check it out.
Okay, anyway, we are moving on to Geri's Calling. Now, I think this is going to be quite divisive.
Is it? Okay. Well, let's go for it.
Calling out your name, burning on the flame, lay the waiting game. Am I calling? Am I calling? Whispers in the air, hear lovers.
I just want to say, hands down, I love this song. Strangely enough, I don't have that much memory of it as a child. It was probably like within the first 2 years of us living together, quite early on, we were still in that old flat. You were showing me that Nick Levine had posted this on his Instagram, the famous Geri at the Brits picture, but with the quote of "No man is an island" underneath. And I was like, what's that? What's that from? And then that's when I really started listening to this song, and I was just like, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous song from Geri.
Now, this is her favourite song on the album, and it has George Michael's seal of approval.
He like, for example, he loves Calling on my album. Now, for him to like a record on my album, he's so critical, perfectionist. I know it must be pretty good for him to go, that is really good. And my motivation is just writing a great album, and, you know, I want people to love it. You know, it's a really up album, and it's good quality pop music, I think it is.
The music video that goes with it,
Oh my God.
is absolutely gorgeous. It's just simple, and the video is simple and elegant. There is some absolutely beautiful shots in it.
It is a work of art.
Oh,
It's a work of art.
absolutely. And I think it's the closest we'd see to kind of like art house in a mainstream pop music video at the time. It could have gone for art house, it didn't, but even what it did, I don't think like the CD UK audience are ready for that yet.
I mean, this is certainly the most stripped back and natural looking Geri that we've seen on music video anyway.
She did release a French version of this song.
Au nom de l'amour, which translates to, sorry, sweets in my mouth, in the name of love. Why were people doing French version singles at this time? I'm so obsessed.
Yeah, I was absolutely terrible at French, but if I'd known these were a bit more readily available to me. So Geri was really gunning for a number 1 for this. if you've not seen it, there's a fantastic medley she did during the promo of this. It was on Parkinson.
So it was an a cappella vocal performance, wasn't it?
And do you think she was actually singing live or that was a pre-record?
I don't know, it's hard to tell. I have to watch it back again.
But regardless, I think it was a pre-record, but it's such stripped-back vocals that are gorgeous, and she's with the big a cappella group. Really do check it out if you've not seen it. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, the single charted it, peaked at number 7 here, which is fantastic, but I think it did kind of upset Geri quite a bit because she was really gunning for a number 1.
We were talking about the Parkinson appearance where she did the song, but she was also talking about her visit to the Middle East, to Oman, to perform for the troops at that time. It was a big thing in the press. Geri went out to Oman to sing for 7,000 British troops there. She flew a military plane out there for a couple of minutes, like she was physically flying it, with steps in there.
Come on, guys!
And Bobby Davro, some sort of comedian or whatever. The night she performed out there was the same night as the England World Cup. She was saying at that time that, felt like things could go either way because England wasn't doing too well. And then thankfully David Beckham scored a goal and it kept everyone happy. But it was like one of her first big solo performances outside of the UK.
And I think Geri did like a little bit of Wannabe or something in that set as well. The marching version or something.
Imagine out in Oman with the troops and you get Geri and you get steps. I mean, what a day.
I wonder what the atmosphere is really like, especially like must be all these rowdy men, like they probably don't really care about what any of the songs are. Then I wonder how that was for Steps. Like it's one thing to be sort of like a solo woman artist. To then be Steps, I don't know. But then also, you just want a bit of fun and entertainment as well, I'm
just
sure.
a night off with your mates. You just watch the England game. There's some beers going round. It was a good night. So, Calling made number 7 in the UK, as you said. Number 21 in France. Number 1 in Russia.
I think Geri was quite big in Russia.
Was she? Wow.
She did that Russia show, didn't she, in the next era.
Amazing. Number 2 in the Czech Republic. So I guess some territories, they did heed the calling.
Before the year 2001 was over, there was still time for one more spicy single, David, wasn't there?
Yes. I'm actually a little bit excited about this one. Because this is one that I didn't quite know about at the time, but I slowly discovered over the years, like after, way after. And we are, of course, talking about We're Not Gonna Sleep Tonight, the 3rd single from Emma Bunton's debut solo album. Joel, what did you think of it?
So again, I don't think I knew this one on arrival. We discuss a lot about, like, when you're a kid, it's just weird. There's some songs that really hit and some you don't know about. And then again, I knew it as an adult, but I did only really sort of take it in preparation for this episode.
We're gonna stop the show. Girls are on the town tonight. Nothing can stop us. You can see it in her eyes. Then we're not gonna sleep tonight. We're gonna get down tonight. See if we can make you blush. We can be mysterious, and we're not gonna sleep tonight.
I think there's a slightly different mix on the single when I was watching the video to the album track.
Yes.
And that is such a great edit, a great little mix of the song.
I love the music video because we're seeing Emma with bangs. She's in a little black dress, leather stiletto. She's out clubbing, it's sexy. She's got heavy eyeshadow going on. The 2 singles before this was very Earth Mother Emma Bunton, very natural, very girl next door.
And she's flown home from her travels.
Yes.
She's got on a little black dress, bit of leather.
Yeah.
She's got on a little night out, little reunion with all the friends, having a drink.
It's December 2001, Christmas party season.
And you know what? We're getting drunk, we're celebrating Christmas, and we're not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a fun, sexy song for the Huns. So the single peaked at number 20 in the UK. It was her lowest charting single at the time.
It was the lowest charting solo Spice Girls single of the time. I remember reading this on Den Den. Yeah.
So yeah, we're entering a funny time
This
to be
is
a solo Spice Girl.
correct. This to me feels like the start of, at least the Spice Girls fandom noticing that, maybe a bit of the magic is wearing off.
This is the start of what I felt was strongest in kind of like 2003, of how it was a really difficult time to be a solo Spice Girl and a solo Spice Girl fan. And
Yeah,
a Spice Girl fan.
it was starting to be that.
So 2001 comes to us, spicy clothes. We've seen a lot from the girls. And then February 2002...
Victoria Beckham's second solo single.
The only solo single, only Spice Girl solo single of 2002.
Yeah, true, actually. Now, this unfortunately was also the final single from the VB's debut album, coinciding with Valentine's Day, A Mind of Its Own.
Slow down, take a second before you rush right in. It's gonna be my tears you cry. My heart's got a mind of its own. Won't listen to what I say, 'cause I know that I can hurt you when it...
Now, Joel, I've got a bit of a funny story with this one.
Oh, I know this story.
Oh.
It's the best. It's the best.
Oh my God, it is peak cringe. So I studied French in high school, and on the internet I found out that the VB had done a French version of A Mind of Its Own called Mon cœur n'en fait que sa tête.
Oh.
Which translates to, thanks Google Translate, my heart does what it wants to do. Now, I told my French teacher of this, and, you know, at this point, I was like a bit of a teacher's pet in my French class. And she said to me, oh, print out the lyrics, burn this song on CD, and we'll sing it together in class.
Just the two of you?
No, the whole class. So I got the lyrics.
That's so sweet. None of my teachers would ever do that.
I think she was just grateful that someone was taking a bit of initiative and, you know, wanting to engage with her class a bit more. The look on my classmates' faces when they were made to sing a Victoria Beckham song in French.
And how later than 2002 was this at the time?
I think this was around the release. Oh, maybe about 6 months after that I discovered. But this is very peak me.
It's absolutely fantastic, David.
It's peak me trying to force VB's music on anyone I can. And I'm doing it still to this day at the age of 32. Everywhere I go.
This wine's not very nice, is it? It tastes like bacon, I thought. I got a hint of bacon on my first sip. That one's really nice.
Thank you. I didn't make it myself, but I did I did bring it. It's the wine that we both can't pronounce, but it was quite nice. And it is $5.75 at Tesco.
I'm not even familiar with those words to point it out, you know. Do you never do that when you look for wine? What looks familiar? Merlot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is Merlot, but it's not.
No, I'm
the
going to
Merlot.
open it to breathe.
Let it breathe.
I should have gone for the Merlot that was £1 more.
In the words of Blue Cantrell, we need to let it breathe.
Yes, we do. So, I think it's a lovely song. I just don't think it would have been my choice for second single.
I agree with you.
But I want to say, this song has also banging B-sides.
Oh my God, Joel, I'm so glad you brought up the B-side.
Always Be My Baby particularly is a banger.
It is a major kids bop, isn't it?
It is. Do you remember I made you send me these B-sides?
Yeah, because the first time you heard it was when I played it to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, literally jaw was on the floor as it just was now, and I was like, you need to send me these songs now.
There's 1,000 reasons why you will always be my baby. Every night you shall know how to make me. 1,000 things you do, even when you drive me crazy. All you gotta know is you'll always be my baby.
So A Mind of Its Own debuted at number 6.
Which
Again,
is great considering that Emma's just had a 20. Number 7 in Scotland and a number 1 smash hit in Turkey. And so it sold 56,570 copies and it was the 173rd bestseller of 2002. But shall we... I just want to talk about a little bit of what else went on in 2002 as we didn't have physical releases. Do you have anything in particular order in your thing or I can just go?
just go.
Cool. So, even though there wasn't a lot of releases, there was a lot of spicy things still going on in 2002. So there was the Bend It Like Beckham soundtrack, which featured I Wish by Victoria Beckham and Independence Day by Melanie C, which was recorded for the first album, and then it was a Japanese bonus track on the second album. It floated around as a B-side. I think she sang it live quite a lot. And then there was a lot of present songwriting for the girls for other artists that got releases in 2002.
Wow.
Melanie Chisholm wrote on Help Me Help You for Holly Valance for the Footprints album. And Emma wrote Twist for Holly Valance for the Footprints album. So that Holly got a little bit of spice on that album.
She got plenty of spice.
So that is all according to Wikipedia, you know. And Emma also wrote To Have to Let You Go for your Australian teen songstress, Nikki Webster.
Oh my God.
So I think that was for Nikki's second album. So other than some acclaimed songwriting for that year, Emma Bunton also performed at Party in the Palace. She did a cover of Baby Love, which there's a very funny clip, which I find hilarious, so I played to you and you didn't find it funny. It's just, it's classic, like, if there was a Hannah night out doing karaoke, just during the song, she goes, "Congratulations! And a big kiss to William!"
Congratulations! Big kiss to William.
I just found it funny that, like, the Queen family are watching it. And it's just the way she says "shuns" in congratulations and William. William. She also sung Good Vibrations with Brian Wilson and Atomic Kitten.
Iconic. Now that's a Hun lineup.
So that's all I've got to say on 2002, but a busy year for the Spices. They're all working on stuff.
They were all working, doing other things outside of music. In March 2002, the VB did a reality TV show that aired.
The one where she interviewed lots of different people.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, which
Very
is
good documentary.
groundbreaking documentary. Geri was nominated for 2 Brit Awards, Best British Female Solo Artist and Best British Single for It's Raining Men. Sadly, she didn't win.
But it's an honour to be nominated.
Certainly. She released her second book, Just for the Record.
Yes, I need to get those 2 books. Bloody hell.
I mean, yeah, it's gorgeous, mostly picture book, shot by Dean Freeman. Really beautiful stuff there. She was also a judge on Pop Stars The Rivals.
Yes, she was. Oh, how could I miss it? Geri as a judge on Pop Stars The Rivals in 2002 was such a big deal. And it was so monumental in my upbringing. And there's a clip of Cheryl, like, on her audition or something. And she's saying she's nervous because Geri's right there. You know how personally I'm such a fan of that show. I'm desperate for anyone that has connection to ITV Archive. I need the series in full available. But she was a fantastic judge on that. And what was interesting, it was 3 judges on Pop Stars The Rivals. Louis Walsh, Pete Waterman and Geri. They were creating a boy band and a girl band. I know everyone knows this, but Pete was to manage the boy band and Louis was to manage the girl band. So the whole aim was to create 2 bands that 2 people on the panel were then going to go on and manage ongoing from that. So Geri was only really the impartial judge for all of this. So she had quite a key significant role and grounded the show and was the star power for the show as well.
I think you should go through. I really do.
He's not going through.
Hold on a minute. Is this this is a group decision at the moment?
No, this is not a group decision.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, absolutely not, Pete.
No.
I would pick you. I would
This is a
absolutely pick you.
group thing.
No.
Wait a minute. I'm on your side. I want this band to be the best ever, okay? And you are a fantastic producer and you've got lots of big experience. Hold on a minute.
You're not always right,
but you
Pete.
can't be right all
You're
the
never
time.
always right.
Yes, I can.
You can't.
You know why?
Absolutely not.
You know why?
No way.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I mean, what a time. Mel B starred in Vagina Monologues in the year 2002. We got to mention that. She was doing lots of acting and theatre stuff that year. She released her autobiography, Catch a Fire, which you bought for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
What David's really saying is his room's full of apparel and things that he's just like, can you stop buying me this junk, Joel? Because I need room to live.
So that's kind of it for 2002 for us. We're just zooming through it, but next year it all kicks off again.
And so, David, before we get to any music releases in the year 2003, there was a huge event that happened in February 2003. All 5 Spice Girls got together for dinner. This was the first time they'd all been together as a group with Geri in this time.
Yes, I remember the pictures from this night.
It was in the press everywhere.
And, you know, these pap shots of the girls leaving their cars and walking into the house, or whose house was it? Was it
Victoria's.
Victoria's house. It was one of the
Beckingham
girls.
Palace, yeah.
It was one of the girls' house. And I remember thinking, I mean, this was an era before social media. You know, no one was posting selfies and go, oh, I'm here and I'm with the girls. It was just so exciting to just see that being captured by the press and the pictures go everywhere and just no one knowing what the fuck was going on. That was what made it so exciting.
Now, allegedly there was some greatest hits reunion talk at the time. Not reunion, but the talks of a greatest hits release. And allegedly there was also a lot of press that, like, Mel C kept stopping the greatest hits from happening. It was just, they've all just said it was just them catching up as friends to get together. And I would just love to have been a fly on the wall. They've not really ever said what they were talking about. I mean, it was just friends hanging out. We don't just go off and say...
Didn't, like, VB say they did a bit of karaoke that night after dinner?
One
of the girls said they did a bit of karaoke, had a bit of wine.
I think they said something about listening to, like, Anastasia and Justin Timberlake or something like that. From here on out, it's nice to... I want to look at whatever we look at in 2003 at least. It's nice to know they've started the year with all touching base and being okay with each other.
And that's a really good place to start the year off. So, going on from there, February 2003, Melanie C returns with her first single from her second solo album, Here It Comes Again.
Promise you this, you're the one I adore. Here it comes again. Filling my soul, never want to let go. Here it comes again.
What do you think of this song?
I think it's okay.
You weren't enthused by it when you first heard it, or when
No,
do you remember it when it first came
no.
out? You didn't. You don't have any memory of it. I really liked it. I went out and bought the CD single.
Wow, you were a bit of a Mel C stan in this era, weren't you?
This era was very key for me because I love the Reason album. Same with the Victoria Beckham album. I feel like I know this from start to end.
I do think it's kind of like music video is a bit like a cheaper version of Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. And I don't think it was the right lead single.
I mean, this was a very interesting time for Mel C because obviously she'd gone away for a couple of years. She had a very successful big solo album and she worked intensively hard around that time.
She's gone away, she's been recording, she had a much deserved break.
So my first experience and my first sighting of this comeback by Mel C was in, again, the Women's Weekly magazines because they leaked to the press early sort of behind the scenes photos from the video shoot for this single. And the very first shot I ever saw from this era was Mel C in the desert with a red leather jacket, no top underneath. So like literally titties and jacket. And I was like, oh, that's a bit risque. But also, you know, she's back to her long, dark brown hair. She's looking gorgeous, very youthful, very healthy. So it was all good. And, you know, sonically, I think it was a very weird space with what the label wanted to do with Mel C and where she wanted to go.
Definitely.
They were taking her to a very more adult, contemporary, soft rock space. It was sort of Natalie Imbruglia meets Michelle Branch, but a little bit older. It wasn't young and exciting.
No. It just feels like, yeah, maybe they're losing confidence in Mel a bit, which is weird because the first album's done so well. So the song did have a midweek of 4, but it fell down to 7 by the end of the week. Very respectable though, it was behind Christina Aguilera and Kelly Rowland. But it sold around 19,000 copies in its first week here, and at the end of its chart run, over 40,000 and over 500,000 copies worldwide.
Wow.
I think Mel C is the one who has the most worldwide success out of any of the girls.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Mel C works very hard. She tours, she goes around, she visits, she just puts in the hard yards, and she grows her fan base internationally. That's the one thing she does exceedingly well that the other girls don't seem to quite put in as much time with. So that's why you get a number fucking 15 in Brazil. That's why you get number 49 in Australia for this single. I mean, I know 49 is not great, but, you know, some of the girls wouldn't even chart there, you know, with some of their singles. So kudos to Mel C.
Yep.
Now, what do you think of this album?
It's not as strong as the first album, but excluding singles, absolute favourite is Let's Love, which was a promo single in Japan.
Really? That was your favourite?
Yeah, that's my favourite non-single for sure. It's so like hooky, and it was used for a car advert in Japan, and you can hear that when you listen to it.
Let's go. Let's roll out of control. Baby, let's love.
But you know me, like I love pop rock, so it is very up the set. You could see Ashley Simpson releasing a song like this.
Wow.
It's kind of that hooky, upbeat poppy pop rock.
The thing, yeah, it's interesting that you pointed out this particular track because there isn't very many of those moments on Reason. And also, it felt really much more personal. You know, there were beams of positivity coming through it with songs like Positively Somewhere, which was one of my favourites.
I've had, a lot of personal things to overcome as well, and this almost feels like a new beginning for me, and I'm very excited about the future, so I think I'll say Reason is the most exciting record I've worked on in my career. Doesn't sound like an old pro. It's my 5th album. We don't mention the 3rd one though, do we?
So the album peaked at number 5 here, which is really, really good. And it did chart elsewhere in the world. Number 9 in Scotland, 47 in Ireland. Were Ireland just not big Spice Girls fans? Like, what is going on here? 71 on the Australian charts. What were you doing, David? Not good. Not enough work.
My one copy didn't make a difference.
And yeah, 13 in Germany, fantastic, and did chart in a lot of Europe. And we also have to say, which I think was a bad move, or just a strange move from the label. The label made Melanie C partake in the Channel 4 reality show The Games. It's like Strictly Come Dancing but sports.
Oh my god, okay.
Mel C was doing really well on it. She is Sporty Spice, for crying out loud. And Lee from Steps was also on it.
Oh.
And then Kevin from Liberty X did it a few series later. But poor Mel got injured during the latter part of this show, which was like a 9-month-long injury taking to heal herself.
She fucking tore her knee or something doing this, wasn't it? It was like a really major ligament injury.
Yeah.
So, like you said, 9 months off. Fucked up her whole album and promo campaign, which I know it did because stuff got delayed and switched around.
I hope she got a big payout from Endemol.
Oh, yeah, fucking hope so. Shall we move on to the jewel of this era of Solo Spice releases?
The everlasting jewel.
So May 2003, we are about to enter a very exciting time in Solo Spice history. This is
Today by Melanie B.
Baby is back and she is fucking it up and switching up the rules with Free Me.
Now free me, let me loose to love you. Yeah, how I long to seduce you. Free me, let me loose to love you. Yeah, how I long to seduce you now.
The artistry is gone to 11 now. And she's doing something that she really wants to do. And this is now the nice bit that we're going to see for her and Melanie C especially a bit later on. Is just when they take the reins back and the control back. So that's the exciting part of what
This
we're
is the exciting
about to
part.
get into.
And I'm really glad that Emma got this moment, like, second album in. Because it's like, first album had a big single with What Took You So Long and obviously Lingering from What I Am, which is the 2 singles that people remember. But the first album wasn't really well received for Emma. It was kind of like, meh, okay, whatever. But this era feels like her arrival. I'm dropping my surname, it's just Emma.
And I'm doing 60s sound
And I'm
music,
doing, yeah,
which
what
was
sounds
it was a
good.
real like brave thing to do creatively in 2003.
Very brave because no one else was doing that.
And I'm so glad that she did this. Kind of like what you were saying. She did this. She'd left Virgin because if she'd done it with Virgin, they would not have committed to it, and they would have tried to push it in another direction. So much so as she wanted to present this to Virgin, and they said, "Okay, put a demo together for it, and we'll see how it works."
In this era, very key for Emma, she left Virgin and signed with 19 Management. She reunited with Simon Fuller. And that was the start of a wonderful partnership for them with her career. And it absolutely created a moment in pop history.
So Simon Fuller created a 19 label for this. So it was the management also having a label. They were doing everything in-house. So could creatively just absolutely go for it and have it with a full support. And the results of it are extraordinary. It is Emma at her most gorgeous, vocally, visually, and that music video.
Oh my God, let's talk about the music video. So she shot this in Rio. You know, it was like giving me perfume commercial vibes.
Yes.
The loose theme for the video and narrative is that it's kind of based on James Bond.
Wow, Simon Fuller was giving her the budget. It is sexy and it is like she's showing leg and stuff, but it's never in like a in your face way, even though, you know, she's like nude in the video, but it's so tasteful.
Oh yeah, she's topless, yeah, with like little knickers, isn't it?
It's never like we're doing it to be provocative.
It's not FHM.
No.
Let's talk about the chart position for this. So Free Me debuted and peaked at number 5 on the UK charts.
Yep, and same in Scotland, 33 in Ireland, and 20 on the European Hot 100 singles chart. But it also peaked at number 4 on the US dance club songs on the Billboard charts there.
So yeah, really amazingly in this era, Emma actually released in the US as well, albeit a year after. But she did have a moment in America. She performed on The View and, you know, the various promos happening a year after.
So, following on from May with Emma, we have Melanie C with On the Horizon in June. This is absolutely one of my favourites. And I was watching the video and she's so far from the Spice Girls now musically. And I know we saw that before initially with Going Down and everything from the first album, but I was just watching this and I was just like, she's here and she's not doing things to sound drastically different now. She's just from a very different place.
Yeah.
And it feels like the Spice Girls were a million years ago.
I have to say, there were some comparisons to this song and Santana and Michelle Branch's Game of Love. I don't know if you remember that, but
Don't know that one.
Anyway, I loved that song at the time, and I remember hearing On the Horizon and going, oh, they go quite well together. So On the Horizon debuted and peaked to number 14 in the UK, selling only 8,000 copies, but it would go on to sell over 200,000 copies worldwide.
200. That's putting the hun in 200,000 copies worldwide. And then,
Girl!
October 2003, David.
Oh.
And what do we have?
Oh my God. Cannot Breathe. Utterly iconic. We are now talking about Emma Bunton's Maybe.
Now this, I would say, hands down, is Emma's signature hit.
Signature
hit. And I have no idea how this wasn't a UK number 1. It was such a big song. Everyone knew this song at the time. It is monumental. So I have no idea how it wasn't a UK number 1.
But I don't think so. Maybe I definitely know that maybe I'm
The music video is gorgeous. The routine is incredible. It's such a banger that even when I was 17, which is kind of close to 10 years after this, or when I was like 18, 19, like teachers were coming in and we were doing dances to this in college.
You were doing Maybe in college?
Yeah, like they'd make up their own routine to it because it's such like an infectious song that they can really go with it.
Did you know about the reference that she was making in this video? Because it was inspired by a scene from My Sweet Charity.
Sweet Charity.
Yeah. So, which Beyonce also referenced for the Get Me Bodied video after Emma did it with Maybe.
But yeah, I think that made you love it even more because of the theatricality to it. But it's the rarity when like theatricality pays off. So it doesn't mix with pop music well normally.
Okay, let's talk about chart positions. So maybe debuted and peaked at number 6 in the UK. How the
Yes.
fuck it was a number 1?
Do you want to hear what was the 5 above it?
Oh, go on.
Shall I tell you the top 10 from 10 to 1 that week?
Okay, please do. Yeah.
Oh no, I'll tell you what was at number 11. Our girl, who is allegedly very big fan and inspired by the girls, Beyonce with Baby Boy at number 11. Then at number 10, our girl, another 19 management darling, Rachel Stevens with Sweet Dreams My LAX.
Oh.
Number 9, I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness. Number 8, Bad Day by R.E.M. Number 7, Mixed Up World by Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Queen.
New in that week.
Queen.
And at number 6 with their new big hit single, it's Emma with Maybe. So then at number 5, we have P.I.M.P. by 50 Cent, which was also new that week. At number 4, we have Superstar by Jamelia, which was a huge hit in the UK.
Monster.
Number 3, we have Where Is the Love by the Black Eyed Peas, finally down from number 1 after keeping Rachel off the top spot. Number 2, we have Turn Me On by Kevin Little.
Oh, yeah, that was a huge summer hit, yeah.
And then at number 1, we have Hole in the Head by Sugar Babes, new in that week.
Iconic.
I mean, if it was going to be anything, Emma should have been at number 2 after
I mean,
Sugar
God,
Babes.
what a tough week it was. I mean, if I was living in the UK, I couldn't cope. Sugar Babes, Emma, and Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Rachel.
3 new releases. Like, I couldn't decide who would get my money, to be honest.
Exactly. And it's like, and a lot of those people, a lot of those mentioned people, yeah, do appeal to kids, so...
Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, that really contextualised what kind of week we were up against when Emma released. So sadly, despite all my radio campaigning in Australia, Maybe only made number 56.
To Australia, not like sexy, is that why it went in at 56?
I think people were confused. They were like, who's Emma? Like, without the Bunton, maybe some of the people got a bit confused.
That can't be our little baby Emma Bunton. She's too sexy for anything like that. Maybe I won't buy this single, eh?
Look, we need to talk about the iconic live performance at the British Style Awards, though.
Yes.
With Kim Cattrall and the VB in the
Yes.
front row
Clapped.
watching Emma.
I remember we were watching it and you went at the end, stand up for your fellow Spice Girl.
No standing ovation from the VB. I mean, come on.
But I think in Victoria's defence, as someone that knows neither of them, I think she's trying to be taken seriously in this thing. So then to stand up on your own, I don't know. I'd stand up for you, David, if I was watching you perform.
Thank you,
that
Joel.
thing.
That's all I really wanted to hear.
Would you do that for me?
Yeah, of course I would.
And I'd make Kim Cattrall stand up as well.
To be fair, I'd be backstage, like, you know, preparing your dressing room and having your car on standby. Joel's leaving the stage now. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Have the door open now. Cigarette lit. So now we're at November 2003. We're getting to the end of the year, and Mel C is back with a double A-side single. Now, we've said she's not had a very easy time since the album came out because she injured herself.
Yes, so this single, this double A-side, Melt in Yeah, 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 it was originally just going to be Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. But it had to get pushed back a bit because she was recovering from her injury and she was still injured. So because Yeah, Yeah, Yeah was very upbeat and up-tempo number, they added the ballad and Melt so she could be a bit more still when she was performing it. So by November, she was all right to be up and about with a sort of cast thing. And move around a little bit while still resting it. So the compromise was it was a double A side. Yeah, Yeah, Yeah was already shot, and then they did a bit more of a low budget video to go with Melt.
Give a little bit of love for your people, but save a little bit of love for yourself. Have a little bit of trust in the way you feel, and see your heart melt. Send a little bit of hope down the airway.
Can I just say one little thing about Melt before we move on?
Please.
For media studies, in year 11, year 12, what year was this? 2003. So, okay, year 11. media studies, I made a music video. So we could all like make our own short film of something.
Yeah.
And I made a music video to Melanie C's Melt.
What made you choose that, and what was it? Were you inspired by
My music video for Melt was not inspired by hers.
Oh, it
because
didn't aesthetically meet that.
I
thought you might say, and I put this video together, and then it became her official video.
My storyboard for Melt was so dramatic. It was like a soap opera. And I roped in all my friends from school to act in it. Because the song Melt is about, give a bit of love, show a bit of kindness. So I was...
Oh, I thought it was about when cheese is on toast and you melt it. So sorry, David, the concept was...
Because it's about showing kindness and all that. I depicted a diva that was, getting her hair and makeup done on the director's chair, and she's being really rude to her assistant. She has an awakening halfway through the video. Go, oh my God, I'm being a horrible person. I'm being a bitch to my assistant. I should be nicer. So she gets given some flowers for a show, and she gives her flowers to the assistant.
That is lovely.
That is cheesy as fuck.
Story of your life now.
Now let's talk about Yeah, Yeah, Yeah.
I felt watching the music video for this that Virgin weren't sure what to do with Melanie C.
Conceptually, she's got all these kids and all these punks and all these skaters. So thematically quite similar to Going Down, but God, what a different production. She's lived a lot in between that first album and now. And it sort of felt like they were trying to sell this as a really young Kelly Clarkson-esque record. And it's like, she's not feeling it.
Virgin said that they wanted this to be the album for her to break America and go up against Avril Lavigne, and it's nice to have if really that's your ambition, but I don't think that album matches that. The song charted around Europe. It charted at only number 27 in the UK, unfortunately. Nothing in Australia, so your video didn't have the impact you'd hoped, David.
Now, before we round out the year 2003, one very special final release, which we're both very excited about.
Vicky left Virgin and she got a new deal with Telstar and 19, worth 1.5 million. So it's a lot. We say she signed with Telstar, but I do think it was a joint collaboration between Telstar and 19. So yeah, we've also got to say Victoria's returned to Simon Fuller like Emma.
Yes. And really, this is the point where the music is secondary now. It's a wider picture. The music is part of a wider picture of other endorsement deals and reality shows and this and that or the other. So, Victoria Beckham comes back December 2003 with a double A-side single, This Groove and Let Your Head Go. Now, Joel, these were very different songs.
They were very different songs, and there's a very interesting story about the origins of both these songs. So, there's a lot of speculation around all of this, but allegedly Victoria Beckham had 2 albums recorded in this time and pretty much ready to go. And some sources said she was going to release just one of them. Some sources said she was going to release a double album. I mean, could you imagine Victoria Beckham coming back and being like, yeah, it's a double album.
CD1, CD2.
We pretty much think she was pushed by Simon Fuller and Telstar to record a more dance pop album, which she didn't really like the results of. And she wanted to go another way, didn't she?
She wasn't feeling it, apparently, so she went and met up with Damon Dash, who's Jay-Z's producer. According to some sources around this time, Victoria sort of saw herself as the British version of Jennifer Lopez, making kind of...
Excuse me, did I not say that earlier?
The source is Joel Babington.
Can sing, can act, can dance.
Exactly. She teamed up with Damon Dash and was the face of his Rockaware label. There were like fucking huge billboards and, stuff all over Times Square with Victoria's face on it. And somehow music was thrown into the mix of it, which, whether you love it or not, it happened. a lot of the tracks now have leaked and is, you know, that album called Come Together. So we're now at the end of 2003. It was time to see the efforts of what Victoria's been working on all year. Okay, so Let Your Head Go. Let's talk about Let Your Head Go.
Banger. Fucking banger, mate. Hilarious video. 20 years later, you still get people can't accept and appreciate how bloody funny this woman is. It's like I have to make so many people sit down and watch her Vogue video or watch the trailer from her YouTube channel and be like, why don't you understand? Just because she's a woman that you think you know how she's perceived in the media, why aren't your eyes open that she's also in a very mainstream way been hilarious many times?
Very dry sense of humour.
Very dry sense of humour. Look at her Instagram. Watch Spice World the movie. Like, so the video was really reflecting that, and it was done in such a fun, funny way. Also, like, using a lot of influence and parodying Mummy Dearest, the film.
Yes.
You can tell she has quite a camp sensibility.
Oh, yeah. She's a drag queen deep down.
She is a drag queen deep down. I don't think the dance floor scene is needed with all the boys.
Oh no, that cheapens it.
But oh my god, when she sits in that chair at the end and does the V with her fingers up and the B is so fucking iconic. I don't know if you recall, I was at a thing last year and I sat in the chair and I did the V. I'll have to dig out that picture and we can put it on the stories or something. She performed this at World Idol. Thank God, because that's a Simon Fuller venture.
So for those of you who don't remember, World Idol happened around the end of 2003. It was the winners of the international pop idols from all territories. So we had Kelly Clarkson, Will Young,
and a lot of other people.
Yeah, Guy Sebastian from our Australian season.
Oh, right. How did he do?
I think he did okay, but wasn't like up there. And then you had the VB in the
not contending, just promoing.
Guest performance, the VB, lip syncing for her life. There, let's be honest. What a promo moment! You got to hand it up to her. I personally prefer "Let Your Head Go" over this groove, but you know, because I'm a pop R&B boy, I can appreciate both. Yeah.
Oh my god, and I love this groove too. Do you not remember when we were living here and I said I want to put a sign on my bedroom door saying don't disturb this groove? So I could literally be like, there's a sign upon the door saying don't disturb this groove. Oh my god, what a sexy video.
I was watching this music video with my dad in the living room back in the day, and he was like, oh, this is a bit much. I mean, it's a song about phone sex, isn't it?
Hi, it's me. Before Adele. I do think this song had the most USA potential out of all the solo Spice songs.
It had a real mood to it, but I can't imagine the VB in America promoting this. Can you?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I can. Damon Dash said there was plans for her to release this double A side under the name Posh Spice Victoria Beckham.
No, honey. She's just Victoria Beckham.
She's just Victoria Beckham. Like, they all say it in interviews anyway. It's Posh Spice Victoria Beckham. Like, you don't need to bill it as that.
Bill it as that.
You can't go into your solo career saying you're the solo version of the band you're in. You know?
No.
But what I think about both these songs is she has a lot more laid back routines And I think that's a very conscious choice. She's done the big routines before. With Out of Your Mind and Not Such an Innocent Girl, she gave them everything. And she got criticism. That was allegedly too much. Okay, sorry, people don't want talent. So we'll just strip it back a bit and do something a bit more...
Yeah, but also looking at the songs, Let Your Head Go, although it is an electro-pop banger, like, it's not like a full-on dancing routine. Like, you did need to get your Janet Jackson on in there. And also this groove being a kind of slow jam... less movement was better. Like, you have to be seductive with it. You have to really sell it. And I have to say, I enjoyed the Top of the Pops performances for this groove over Let Your Head Go.
Yeah, the Let Your Head Go stuff's kind of like panto-y in a way.
Panto-y, very Essex glam, no offence.
Going back to Let Your Head Go, and obviously there's the whole OBE joke, which I have to do a big shout out to. She finally got the OBE.
She finally got it, yes.
But
because at that time David got his OBE.
Yes.
So she in the music video she was dreaming about her getting her OBE, wasn't it? That was the dream sequence. It was very funny. Again, it's like she's a funny bitch.
She's very funny.
This is the last official Victoria Beckham music release.
And she had the press tried to sort of capitalise on how she had another chart battle with Sophie Ellis-Bextor with this song.
Oh God, yeah, it was too crazy.
So the Sophie song it came up against with was I Won't Change You. And for anyone that's not seen it, there is the a moment of its time CD UK interview with Kat Deely on CD UK interviewing Victoria Beckham, Muchi Bueno from the Sugar Babes, and Cheryl Tweedy from Girls Aloud. And they're talking about all the other singles that are being released at the time.
Oh, yes. They're trying to be diplomatic.
Talking about Sophie's song, and Victoria goes, I knew you'd come to me first, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Sophie's doing is really great, and I think that we're both really, really different. And I don't think nowadays when artists release records, they release records to try and get to #1, because the charts, if you look at it, it's so diverse, it's so different.
Because last year she was photographed in a Peckham T-shirt.
I thought that was funny, you know. I mean, like I said,
have you got any kind of stunts lined up that you want?
No. I mean, I think that I'm kind of proved with this record that, you know, I have a sense of humour, and yeah, I mean, I laughed at that. I thought it was funny. So many people take themselves so seriously.
So she was being very clever. She released this at the arse end of the year, like literally after Christmas.
So she did lots of room for big promotion over Christmassy stuff, but it was released on the 29th of December. So you're not battling for a Christmas #1, nothing like that. You're actually releasing when no one's really releasing songs.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of room to just let your head go and have no chance to disturb this groove.
Exactly. And, you know, it was that sales were low in January. It's easier to chart higher. And Let Your Head Go / This Groove debuted and peaked at #3.
And it was the highest new entry of that week as well.
Yes, Queen VB.
So it was fantastic. Did #3 in Scotland as well, 17 in Ireland, and again, #1 in Turkey, allegedly. And so it's also best to say that this is the highest chart position. This, tied with Emma's Downtown, is the highest chart position for a solo Spice Girl single since Geri Halliwell's It's Raining Men.
Wow. Now let's get to January 2004. You know, mind you, all the excitement around Emma's Free Me single, and maybe she still has not released the album.
3 singles before the album were out.
3 singles before the album, which is unheard of and, you know, quite unconventional for that time. But I think she's played her cards very fucking well, because each of the 3 singles, including the latest one that's out in Jan, called I'll Be There, each of the 3 singles had a moment to breathe and for her to set up a moment for. And then came the album, which is really clever. So let's quickly talk about I'll Be There.
It's such a gorgeous ballad.
Gorgeous, elegant, really suited her voice. This kind of 60s pop Motown feel. We always knew that Emma loved Motown music. Like, she's talked about it a lot. And I think if you love the Spice Girls doing Stop, I think this is a very natural connection.
We all need somebody who we can always run to, and I will always be the one for you. I'll be there whenever you need.
So yeah, gorgeous song, black and white music video.
Shot in Paris, really elegant, very cute. I'll Be There debuted and peaked at number 7. This is the 3rd consecutive top 10 hit for Emma in this era, which is
like,
amazing.
I hope Virgin are being like, we fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
you
they
fucked
should be
up.
quaking in their boots that your artists that you didn't support have gone off and done incredibly well. So I'll Be There did also peak at 10 in Scotland and 29 on the European Hot 100 singles charts and 42 in Ireland. Come on, guys. You've also, if you've not seen it, it's really sweet. There's a Top of the Pops performance, because this was only released 2 weeks after Victoria. The same episode of Top of the Pops, Emma introduces Victoria and Victoria introduces Emma. So, shortly after the I'll Be There single release, Emma released what I think we'd both go on record to say is the best solo Spice Girls album to date, Free Me.
100%. I'm in love with the kind of old school 50s and 60s kind of record look that she was doing. You know, the attention to detail to this is incredible. It really looks like an old school vinyl record, doesn't it? The UK edition is the pink filtered one, which is lovely. Emma's got her mouth open, you know, she's laughing out loud. And then the international version is just sexy, just her.
Yeah, sitting down to have a sexy poo. It's kind of like Hun on a night out and you just like stopped up from being sick to just quickly have a picture or taking a sexy poo. And then the other one, you're just having a real big laugh in a tunnel.
Let's talk about this album because original songs, all of them were co-written by Emma except for the covers, which is Cricket Sing for Anna Maria. I think that's the only cover on this album. Yeah,
it is, yeah.
It is light, it is fluffy, it is really chic because there are elements of bossa nova in there, there's elements of Latin pop, like it just feels like an album that you could hear in Kew Gardens in a cafeteria.
So Emma did a very limited vinyl release for this, which went out to her fans of her official fan club. If you entered the competition, you could win via her website. And I tell you what, that vinyl will cost you a pretty penny if you need it today. A pretty penny is so rare, David.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
Yes, one of our lovely listeners, Gio, has this vinyl.
Oh!
He's been showing it off on his social media.
Oh my God. Emma, please reissue it.
This, if any solo Spice Girl album, this needs a vinyl reissue. Oh, I will buy it in a heartbeat.
Shall we talk about our highlights on this album? Because for me, it's every track. Like, this is a no-skip album.
Do you remember even a few years ago, we were living together and I casually mentioned to you that I've never heard this album before. And you went, Joel, you need to just, like, listen to it. It's such a you will have such a treat listening to it. And then we had the follow-up and I was like, thank you so much for telling me. It was a brilliant, brilliant album. None of this ringing a bell to you?
No, I didn't realise that. I mean, I guess there were so many exchanges.
You don't realise the impact you have on my life, David Lynn. So this album, we also have to say, has one duet on this album.
Oh, iconic duet.
With Luis Fonsi, who is the guy of Despacito.
Emma Bunton put him on first.
Emma Bunton put him on the map.
Yeah.
There'd be no Despacito without Emma Bunton.
Yeah, fuck no.
Yes, I hear you now, like a cooling breeze on that hot summer night that we met back in paradise.
When I hear you sing, there's a tingling.
She should have got Louis Fonsi to come back and do a duet cover of Despacito for her most recent album, My Happy Place.
Do we want to hear Emma Bunton doing Despacito?
I think it would have helped her get coverage. Despacito, I did a na-na-na-na-na-nito, and a na-na-na-na-na-bito. I have a tequila shot of Wito, yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no.
So, I did a whole English school project around the Free Me album.
Wow.
So, as if it wasn't enough that I made a music video for Mel C, the following year...
The Spice Girls Down Under Street team, David Lim, Do you remember when artists would have their street teams?
I didn't know what it meant, but I guess I was part of the street team. I was fucking ringing up radio stations. I was putting them in my English projects. Like, I created the entertainment pages of a newspaper. So I made up a fake interview with Emma Bunton as the feature lead.
I'm upset you're not reading it out.
I don't want you to read my writing from year 11 because it's not very good.
I don't care about that, David.
But, my English teacher gave me a really good grade and he said, you should pursue music journalism, which I went and did briefly, yeah.
Wow.
So, thanks to Emma.
Well, when I did an English lesson on Clear, because we had to do that for a module of our GCSEs, well, a school lesson on anything about choosing, I didn't get anything like that, David. I got, wow, Joel, that was really good. You couldn't have done better. You should consider being a teacher, which to my poor teacher, I went, no. Nothing like you can consider something in music, blah, blah, blah. But I only got a B because of the subject topic matter, apparently. You saying if I'd done Girls Aloud, I would have got an A? I taught everyone a lot in that lesson. My teacher also put in a school report once. If Joel spent as much time gossiping about Lindsay Lohan as he does putting in work in his English work, he would excel. Wow. And I was pissed off when I got that because I was like, I actually spend more time talking about Hilary Duff.
I knew that was shade when you said that. I was like, Lindsay, he's going to be mad. The Free Me album debuted and peaked at number 7 in the UK for Emma.
Which is brilliant.
Amazing. It stayed in a top 20 for 3 weeks. It's certified gold. Now, it had a little bit of a staggered release, as we hinted before. It was released in the US a year after. It came out in Australia in the summer for us. So a couple of months after. It came out in September in Brazil. So, she had a longer campaign with this one. And hopefully it felt like that gave her time to go around and promote it and do... spend more time in different territories because it was certainly worth promoting.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so quickly, coming off from the Free Me album, Emma did have a 4th single, which is Cricket Sing for Anna Maria. Now, at that time, I sort of was like, okay, this song is crazy. I didn't realise it was a cover because I was like, why is she writing about this?
When anyone's in love, the cricket sing a happy song. But they didn't do the repertoire for long. Suddenly the papa came, and then the mama came, and then the sister came, and then the brother came, and then the uncle came, and then the cousin came, and even Dusty came. And I can tell you this, it was a dirty shame.
I love this song. Like, it's so fun, it's so energetic, it's so crazy, like you said. Did you see there was a Twitter video that went viral that put a clip from this song and put whenever a new family joins EastEnders? It's so good. And now I can't listen to this song without thinking about that, and it's so true. And sorry, I don't know who posted it at this time, but shout out to whoever did that. Absolutely classic.
And also, special shout out to the B-sides, Eso Beso and Summer Samba, both of which are covers, and both of which are on my cruise ship playlist that I play every time I go away in the summer on a holiday. It's essential summer music.
And is that those songs aren't on streaming services though?
They are on streaming.
They are?
Yeah. So there is a Latino mix of Maybe, which is a very chilled lounge version. Different vocals that were recorded for it, slightly more, whispery and very sultry. Cricket Sing for Anna Maria made number 15 in the UK, so that makes it 4 top 20 singles in one album for Emma Bunton.
And that is a very respectable chart position.
Now, before we get to the end of 2004 with a very exciting new release, we should mention that Victoria Beckham did put out a collection of songs very subtly.
Very subtly. So a documentary starring David and Victoria, the real Beckhams, or the Real, as in, where was it? Real Madrid?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Real Beckhams.
You can tell we really pay attention to sport.
Was released, and to sort of as bonus features for the DVD collection, there was a DVD too that featured not only the AA side Let Your Head Go in This Groove, but a few of the unreleased songs from Victoria's second album.
Yeah. So we had Me and You this time. We have That Dude, Valentine, which I really like, and Resentment, which would eventually go on to be recorded and released by Beyonce, circa B-Day.
She did cover the VB, and what's cheeky is that I'm pretty sure Victoria Beckham had a writing credit on Resentment, and then it's not to be seen on the Beyonce album.
Beyonce's got the writing credit there.
Yeah, what words did Beyonce change?
I know she was attractive, but I was here first. Been riding with you for 5 years. Why did I deserve to be treated this way by you? I know you're probably thinking, what's up with me? This sounds like a 50s record.
So this literally would be the last kind of capsule body of work that we would get from Victoria Beckham music.
Yeah, the last official Victoria Beckham music release to date.
To date. And sadly it's not on streaming, but, you know, this along with a lot of the other stuff like the Open Your Eyes album that leaked, you can find on wherever.
So yeah, That Dude and Resentment were the standouts for me on the tracks.
I like that you like That Dude. Don't mess with that dude. Also need to point out, around this time, the VB did an interview with Mary Claire, and she hinted that she has a single release for that summer called My Love Is For Real. Sadly, that never happened, and Telstar, the label that she signed with, went bankrupt.
Which didn't just affect Victoria Beckham, also affected the Cheeky Girls and Mystique, which is Victoria
Painful.
Mystique is the biggest pop shame to happen here.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Like, the Cheeky Girls have come out to say that they were promoting heavily, and then Telstar went bankrupt, and because things like unpaid for hotel rooms and things were under the Cheeky Girls' names, they had to pay for it all. And they haven't received any royalties for their songs, like the Cheeky song, which has done really well internationally and like still gets played and stuff. They don't get any royalties from it, even though their mum wrote it and they sung it.
Are you kidding me?
So the royalties still go to Telstar in whatever form that is.
So that puts a pin in Victoria Beckham music for us for now.
Before the year was over, there was one Spice Girl that was not ready for the year to end without her making her big solo mark. Ms. Geri Halliwell was back after a small musical break with a bang. She released the first single of her third album, Ride It.
This is so much fun. It is campy. It is cheeky. I was obsessed with this. Obsessed.
You're a DJ, I'm a song. Take me out and turn me on. Let yourself go. Chicas bumping to the beat from the side and underneath. Yeah, my body's where this party's at. You're a DJ, I'm a song. Take me out and turn me on. Turn me on. You're spinning it. Chicas bumping to the
I just remember Geri releasing it and me being really disappointed.
Okay, so to be fair, by the time we got to the end of 2004, pop was in quite a different place.
Such a different place.
Such a different place. You know, we still had the fun elements this year. You know, we had Girls Aloud, we had Rachel Stevens, Britney had Toxic. But overall, if you look at, you know, with a bird's eye view of the pop world at this time, it was a big year for Natasha Bedingfield. It was a time for Dido, Katie Melua, Norah Jones. You know, then you also on the other side you had Eminem and Usher and Alicia Keys, and then Destiny's Child made their fucking comeback in 2004 as well. So it was a very it was no place for a single like Ride It, really, was it?
No.
The pop climate had quite moved on.
And don't get me wrong, it's fun. If it comes on in a night out, I will live for it.
I still live for it because
But
I think the production is so much fun.
It's just... How did a girl that released, like, Bag It Up go from that to this, both musically and, like, video aesthetically? It's like watching, you know, on Drag Race when they do a challenge and they're against the green screen, and then they say to Michelle River, oh, I just need to use this, I just need to use that. And
Let me get the pit crew, what's the props?
They grab the props and then they just sort of do their thing around it. And that's really tough to watch. And don't get me wrong, Geri is fucking fantastic. I think she's an incredible woman and an absolute pop living legend. This would have been great as a Eurovision song. It still could be great as a Eurovision song.
With the right act, I think they could really sell it. Yeah. So let's talk about chart positions. Yeah.
So this song in the midweek was number 2 and went down to number 4. That's still huge. I have no recollection of the song being that big, if I'm completely honest. Like, hats off to Geri.
I remember seeing all the promo that's happening in the UK and wondering when the fuck are we going to get a copy of Ride It in stores. So I would go in every week to like request and go, oh, do you have Geri's Ride It on your roster? Like, when's that coming out? Where's that on the timetable? They're like, oh, we don't have it for this week. Maybe it's next week. It says here's TBC for next week and like that kind of stuff. So every week I'll go in and ask.
Oh.
Eventually it came out and I did get my copy of it. And
it was an Australian version, it wasn't an import.
No, it was the Australian version of it, which had, honestly, shout out to the Ian Masterson extended remix of Ride It. That is the fucking definitive version of this single.
So, yeah, what a way to end 2004, eh?
Yeah. So next comes in 2005. Guys, we are now in the final year of our Solo Spice Girls Part 2 extravaganza.
Yeah, shout out if you're still here. I'm not sure if we are.
No, but we're going to end on a bang here, guys. Like, this is going to be it. We're almost there, and it is 2005. We have new Melanie C.
Yes, and I think Melanie C is in a kind of new peak with this song.
Yeah, this is the start of a very effective, very in control, and very just balls to the wall era for Mel C.
Just doing whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
This is her first single via her own label, Red Gold Records. So everything she does, every choice, it's not a big label. You can't just do things. Every choice has to be a choice. It has to mean something. I thought Next Best Superstar was a brilliant song. It's her coming back, and the pop game has kind of changed. She's only been gone for a little bit, but a lot has kind of already changed. A lot changed between her first album and the second album, and then again between the second and third. And in both those gaps, reality shows have become so big. I think the X Factor might even be starting by now, or rumblings of it. We've had Pop Stars, Pop Idol. And this is what those songs are about, the Next Best Superstar.
Yeah, this song does take a swipe at that kind of really fast food music industry approach to star making. How they kind of chew people and spit them out. How fame is being manufactured in that way. And really, honestly, who better to speak on it than her?
Yeah.
Sell your life, sell your soul, telling everyone you know you're living your dream. And you know that you're good, 'cause they told you you could be the next best superstar. And you know you can sing and you'll do anything to be the next best superstar. You're the next best superstar.
It feels like she has a lot to vent about this time around. She's left her label, she's starting out on her own, she's, basically been chewed up and kind of spat out by fame, and she's kind of crawling back triumphantly. And
yeah, she's saying, you aren't the masters of my destiny, I am. You can't curate my journey, I can.
Yeah. So good on her. And do you know what? It's a cracking song.
The song peaked at number 10 in the UK, number 8 in Scotland, 3 and 6 in Belgium respectively, did chart all around Europe.
Look, for an independent release, I think Mel C did really well, and we're about to get into the album, and we will look at like how she attacked it like a beast in this era. Like, honestly, because she was sidetracked by injury circa Reason, we kind of saw her maybe a bit out of action, but this is her at her fucking fighting best again, and it's just so exciting to see her revitalized in the Beautiful Intentions era.
I think it's a really, really, really nice album. I think it's probably my favourite of the first 3 albums. It outsold Reason, which I think she was really, really happy about.
Fuck yeah, independent artist,
Definitely stronger than the last album, in my opinion.
Stronger.
My favourite 2 tracks on the album were Little Piece of Me and Last Night on Earth.
Yes.
Like, Last Night on Earth, very, hooky.
I love Little Piece of Me. I love that you mentioned that because it's like, again, going back to that kind of angsty Mel C, you know, where she is talking about how she's overcome being taken advantage of in the industry and, you know, shady shit that's happening.
It's not because I'm worth it, not 'cause I deserve it. You just wanna get your hands on a little piece of me. It's not because you feel it, not because you really need it. You just wanna get your hands on a little piece of me.
She promoted this really well internationally as well.
Yeah, this sold over 1 million copies worldwide.
And in one of her promo stops, she came out to Australia. That was the first time I met a Spice Girl.
Wow, little would you know, eh?
Yeah, well, you know, there I was with Mel C at her album signing in HMV in Melbourne.
Hi, what's the name? David, oh.
That picture's up on my MySpace somewhere.
Oh.
R.I.P. MySpace.
Lovely to meet you.
I went with my friend Scott, who, you know, was a new friend that I made in uni. It was like my first year of uni. Like, we were just kind of...
Oi, Scott, do you want to go and meet Melanie C at the old HMV? Hey.
So I think we just left class and, you know, maybe we skipped a lesson
Let's
or two.
bunk off and meet a Spice Girl down under. I'm sorry, that was a horrible accent and, you know, anything. But...
I loved it.
How was it meeting Melanie C? Talk me through it.
She was so beautiful in person. Like,
That's
I was
how I
shook.
felt when I saw her a few years ago at Stylist Live. Like, stunning.
Gorgeous. And she's only gotten better with age.
Mm.
But she was stunning. And she did a small acoustic set as well for HMV there. I mean, this was a good era for her. She really fucking worked. Beautiful Intentions made #1 in Portugal. Important to mention. Platinum sales, 9 weeks at #1 there. It was gold in Germany, number 15. And over there was re-released with an extra song called First Day of My Life, which was written by Guy Chambers and Enrique Iglesias.
Yeah, can you believe?
And it was a theme song for a major German soap opera.
It was a big European hit, that song.
Yeah.
Never released in the UK, but a big European hit.
I think they snuck it in as a B-side
Yeah.
from one of her latest singles.
Yeah, but of her next album.
Next album, yeah.
This time. So it peaked at number 24 in the UK. But this was like a big selling, like ongoing. It was a marathon, not a race, and had really good sales. So shall we get to Geri with Desire?
Yes. So we're in May 2005. It's coming up to the summer. We've not forgotten about Geri.
Oh, I don't think anyone could forget about Geri Halliwell, Geraldine Estelle.
Whatever you sold me, whatever you feed me, it's taking me over and over. I'm the perfect fighting whenever I need it. Your kiss kills me with desire.
I think I enjoyed the song more now than when I first heard it.
Really?
Really?
I'm the opposite.
Really? When I first heard it, I was just a bit like... I think I was in year 9 when I started this, because I think it was my first year of being at stage school. Around this time, because I would be travelling into London for school every day, I'd get up early, and I'd watch this show B4, B and the 4, on Channel 4, and they would show all the new music videos when they were being released. So I remember taking this in and being like... What's my girl G up to, really? Is she trying to do a Bridget Jones thing? I know she really kind of liked the whole Bridget Jones thing. Is that what she's trying to do in the music video? It seems like Geri was second-guessing herself at this point, and Virgin wasn't giving her the support she needed. And it shows that it generally was a strange time in solo Spice World at this point.
At that time, I was very intrigued with Desire. If you listen to it sonically, structurally, it sort of feels like a Shirley Bassey big band song, but dragged all the way to the year 2000 with electro beats in a production.
Which is kind of Geri's vibe.
It is Geri's vibe. So it actually, on paper, it should work. It's campy, it's big band, it's brassy, it's cabaret, it's a little bit naughty, a little bit minxy, and then you throw in a bit of Euro dance beats into it. And, you know, what could go wrong?
The song peaked at 22 in the UK. and 19 in Italy, number 9 in Belgium, 78 in Australia. So I don't think either of the single choices were right, if I'm honest.
Well, Geri did go on the record a couple of times after Desire came out in, recent years and say that she wished she had released Love Never Loved Me as the second single instead, which to me is my favourite song, not only from Geri's third album, but my favourite Geri song, full stop. She said at the time she felt conflicted, she was going to go with that, but then she ended up picking Desire instead because I think it flattered radio or certain radio execs more. They preferred that over Love Never Loved Me. I mean, I don't know what Desire did on the radio airplay situation, but it clearly wasn't like a big radio hit now, was it? So, which is a shame, but we can all... Everyone's wiser in hindsight, aren't they?
So, following the single Desire, we had Geri's third album, Passion, in the 6th of June 2005. Now, this album was originally being worked on and going to be titled Disco Sister. And tell you what, David, I would have loved that so much.
There were some stuff on the internet at the time saying that her lead single was going to be a cover of 100% Pure Love. There's an almighty mix of it on YouTube somewhere, and it sounds fucking sensational. High camp, straight to the clubs, an anthem. This album, in its composition, it's quite a trip. The start of the album and the end of the album, bookended by jazz tracks. Passion, very Marilyn Monroe-esque situation going on. And then you finish with So I Give Up on Love.
I give up on love. And we've got her saying that she doesn't give an... Oh, wow!
It is so campy, it is cabaret, it is musical
it's
theatre.
very Geri.
And there was David when he got naked. He didn't have much up or downstairs. So I give up on love. I guess I've had enough. I don't give up. What can I do? Just when I found the one and I think love's begun, it's falling through.
So, unfortunately, she had both announced and cancelled her first tour for 2005. So she was going to do a Geri Live in Concert UK tour, UK and Ireland tour. She'd announced it at the end of 2004 to be in May 2005. And that did include a date at the Hammersmith Apollo, which I think Geri could definitely have sold out. Would have been really, really fun. So it's an absolute shame that she didn't get to go through with that, because I'd love to have seen what a full Geri Halliwell concert would have been. I think it would have very lent to the cabaret aesthetic that she was doing in the PAs that she was doing at the time. And also, yeah, she had a Channel 5 documentary, There's Something About Geri, which she's gone on record to say she cringes about. It had really, really strong viewing figures, but unfortunately she did not come across well in it at all. It highlights what a strange time in solo Spice World this was. Nothing will ever take away Geri's incredible legacy. She held the record of UK female artists with the most number ones for such a long time, and all her singles are amazing, and so, I mean, just some of her moments are legendary and nothing to be snubbed at. There is still some really good work on the album.
There is some really good work on the album. Like I said, my personal favourite, the thumping Euro dance sad banger that is Love Never Loved Me. This was my anthem when I was at uni. I'd just come out and I've never had a boyfriend and I wasn't feeling very loved or very confident in myself. And this was like my go-to emo track.
So, the album peaked at number 41 in the UK, unfortunately. And weirdly, on streaming services and everything, it has a different cover now. So...
Yeah, I don't know that cover, because the version I have at home is the portrait of Geri, like a close-up of her face and her shoulder.
So you went out and bought the album?
This is, I will say on record, the only Geri album I own physically.
So I went out and bought the first, you bought the third.
Who's got the second?
Yeah.
we can share it around.
I think Alex had the second album.
Great. Now
Because
we're
I was
sorted.
playing it for this, and he started singing along, and I was like
You
an
know
album
it?
track. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh yeah, I was a big Geri fan.
We're between the three of us, we're covered.
Thank God. We got you, Jezza, don't worry, love. So, shall we move on to Today by Mel B?
So yes, a month after Geri's album came out.
Not even a month.
Not even a month, within the same month, right?
Yeah.
June 2005.
The next week. This came out on the 6th of June. Today came out on the 13th of June. I have to say, I really like this song. The video is terrible. I'll go on record to say it. I think everyone thinks it. The video is terrible, but it does sort of go with that lo-fi recorded in the kitchen kind of feel, so it goes hand in hand with it.
Today's the day that something great I know is gonna happen. Today, no I can't wait. I know it's got my name on today.
I don't know, there's just something about this song that really warms my heart, and I think it's a really, really lovely, sweet song.
Today, just like the rest of the album, LA State of Mind, it's quite happy, it's quite intimate, it feels very sunny. It literally is LA State of Mind, isn't it? There are parts of this project that feels like it could be songs for a children's album.
Yeah, like Stay in Bed Days and stuff.
Music of the Night, in brackets, Perdido.
Let's just quickly round up today and then we'll talk about the album. So the single peaked at 41 here in the UK and 32 in Ireland. Thank you for finally showing up, Ireland. She basically promoted it on GMTV here in the UK.
That was the only promo I could find, right?
It's the only promo I could find. She did a 2-week promo tour here for the single and the album, but television-wise, I think just GMTV. So then the album was released on the 27th of June 2005. Melanie Brown, LA State of Mind. You could get it as a CD and as a CD plus DVD double package.
Now the DVD comes with a documentary of her LA life.
And it was released by Amber Cafe, which is a small label she put together just to release this album. She performed songs from it really around LA at different showcases, just to get feedback and see if it's something she did want to release. Apparently Darkchild did offer to produce some songs, but she declined to give her friends the opportunity.
And also would have been a whole different sound. Like,
yeah,
can you afford Darkchild on your independent
No.
label? And you got to support it with a big promo thing. Whereas if you do a lo-fi album and do it really independently, no pressure,
yeah, I think
you sort of get away with it. People were expecting these Spice Girls to come out with really big campaigns, really big releases, and here she's just doing something for the love of it. And I have to say, vocally, she sounds good on this.
So, in the year prior, she had done Rent on Broadway. Rent is one of the biggest musicals of all time. And I think you can kind of tell, you can hear in her voice that she's done it. All the songs are a little bit on the nose and all kind of sound like musical theatre-ish. Music of the Night kind of sounds like a jingle from like maybe a kids movie.
I'm quite into it in that sense. Once you see it in that way, you just go, it's cute.
Yeah, like if there was a TV movie that she had to have a song in, it
That
kind of
would be
sounds
it.
like that. So I've got to say, David, that this is actually one of the first albums that I downloaded when I found out how you could illegally download a whole album. Like outside of LimeWire, there were websites that uploaded full albums and everything.
Oh yeah, I know.
So this was one of the first, if not the first, that I downloaded.
You robbed Melanie of her sales.
David, well, I was never going to buy it, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe this is available to me. Mel C's final UK release of the album was Better Alone, and yeah, it's a really nice ballad. Really, really nice ballad. There's actually 2 versions of this video, David. A UK release and a European release.
Iconic. I mean, I used to love when they used to make 2 different music videos. I mean, what a time for budget.
Also, this is her on an independent label. Did she need to do 2 music videos? I don't know. They were both fantastic, but one of them's really dark.
Really dark. You're talking about the European one, right? Where
letting her ex-boyfriend be locked in his car while it drowns.
Drowns in a lake, yeah. Well, he didn't quite drown. Like, she
presses the button
to unlock the doors, and then he swims out. But still, bloody hell. It's
like an episode of Corrie, that Savers. And I don't think this charted in the UK, though, unfortunately.
No, sadly not. I remember seeing the CD singles everywhere in Australia, though. So it was around the time she came out and promoted the album and the single, and yeah.
So it peaked at 83 in Australia, 57 in Austria, 51 in Germany, 36 in Italy, and 33 in Switzerland. And then she did end the year with First Day of My Life as a European single as well, which is a song we'd previously mentioned. What a way to end 2005, and you know, what a really, really fun journey that we've had, looking from 2001 to 2005 of Solo Spice World. And let's just say again how much we bloody love these girls.
We love the girls.
Individually, collectively, spicily.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Solo Spice Girls journey, part 2.
Thank you so much for listening. Stick around for Series 3. If you've not listened to Series 1 and 2 so far, go back and listen to them. We've had so much fun covering Rachel Stevens, S Club 7, our favourite Aussie soap stars turned to superstars, and so many more. Samantha Mumba, Billie Piper.
Atomic Kitten.
Hearsay
and Liberty X.
Hearsay and Liberty X. And I'm so excited for everything we're going to get into in Series 3 and to share it with you. If you're not already following us on social media, do follow us at RightBackPod on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Lots of fun going on there, and we're going to have a whole lot more fun this season. Tell a friend if you're enjoying the podcast, and if you are enjoying it, give us a cheeky little 5-star review, and we will be your 3rd best friend forever. And, you know, whenever you're listening to this, just spice up your effing life. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.